Life will try to break you. Life will test you. Life will throw storms, setbacks, failures, betrayals, and disappointments at you. But the question that will decide everything about your future is this: will you quit or will you keep going? Every great champion, every great leader, every great achiever has faced the moment where quitting looked easier than continuing. They stood in the middle of pain, in the middle of struggle, in the middle of darkness, and everything in them said, stop, give up, quit. But they didn't. And because they didn't, they rose. The difference between the person who wins and the person who loses is often just this: one refused to quit. Don't misunderstand. Quitting is tempting. Quitting is comfortable. Quitting feels like relief in the short term. But quitting kills your dream. Quitting robs your future. Quitting erases your progress. And once you make quitting a habit, it will follow you for life. The fight of life is not just against obstacles. It's against the voice inside that says, this is too hard. This is too much. You can't handle this. That's the enemy. That's the war. And the only way you win is to look that voice in the eye and say, I don't care how hard it gets. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how painful this is. I will not quit. Because the truth is this: you can fail and still win if you don't quit. You can fall and still rise if you don't quit. You can lose battles and still win the war if you don't quit. The only way you truly lose is when you quit. Think about it. The student who fails a test but studies again has not quit. The athlete who loses a game but trains harder has not quit. The business owner who goes bankrupt but tries again has not quit. But the moment they say, I'm done, the moment they lay down the fight, that's when the dream dies. Fixing your life begins with this decision: no matter what happens, I will not quit. Look back at your own story. How many times did you almost quit? How many times did you want to walk away? How many times did you feel like the pain was too much, the burden too heavy, the struggle too long? And yet here you are, still breathing, still standing, still capable of fighting. That means you didn't quit. And if you didn't quit then, why would you quit now? Every storm has an end. Every night has a morning. Every winter has a spring. Pain doesn't last forever. But quitting makes the pain permanent. Quitting makes the failure final. Quitting makes the wound stay open. Don't quit when you're tired. Quit when you're finished. Don't quit when it hurts. Quit when you've given everything you have and there is nothing left. And even then, most times you'll realize you still had more inside you than you thought. So every day declare this over your life: I will not quit. I will not stop. I will not surrender. I will keep fighting. I will keep moving. I will keep rising. No matter what comes, I will not quit. Because the people who refuse to quit are the people who change the world. The moment you decide not to quit, enemies will rise. Fear will rise. Doubt will rise. Failure will rise. And if you don't learn how to fight them, they will convince you to lay down your dream before it even has a chance to live. Fear is the first enemy. Fear doesn't show up to tell you the truth. Fear shows up to magnify lies. It tells you you're not ready. It tells you you're not strong enough. It tells you the pain is too much. The risk is too high. The future is too uncertain. Fear paints pictures of disaster, embarrassment, and failure. But fear is not reality. Fear is imagination gone wrong. Fear is your mind rehearsing defeat before the battle begins. And here's the thing: fear doesn't disappear. Fear doesn't vanish once you succeed. Fear doesn't vanish once you get stronger. Fear always shows up at the door of your next level. Fear is the price of entry to growth. The only question is this: will you let fear stop you, or will you step forward anyway? Doubt is the second enemy. Doubt is more subtle than fear. Fear screams. Doubt whispers. Fear tells you don't try. Doubt says, what if you're not enough? Fear stops you before you start. Doubt drains you while you're on the journey. Doubt makes you second-guess your choices, your talents, your future. And if you listen to doubt long enough, you'll sabotage yourself. You'll walk away, not because you couldn't do it, but because you convinced yourself you couldn't. But doubt is a liar, and the only way to silence it is through action. Every step forward is proof that doubt doesn't decide your story. Every time you push through, you show yourself that you are stronger than you thought. Then comes failure, the hardest enemy, the one that makes most people quit. Because failure doesn't feel like a whisper, it feels like proof. Proof that you're not capable. Proof that you're not worthy. Proof that you'll never make it. But failure is not proof of defeat. Failure is proof that you tried. Failure is proof that you're in the fight. Failure is proof that you're willing to go further than those who never even started. Failure is not final unless you quit. Look at the stories of the greats. They all failed. They all doubted. They all feared. But what separated them was not perfection. It was persistence. They didn't let fear stop them. They didn't let doubt paralyze them. They didn't let failure end them. They kept going. Ask yourself, what fears are stopping me right now? What doubts am I believing right now? What failures am I holding on to right now? Be honest, because those are the enemies that will convince you to quit if you let them. But here's the truth. Fear can't stop you unless you surrender. Doubt can't define you unless you agree. Failure can't end you unless you quit. So every day declare this. Fear will not hold me. Doubt will not break me. Failure will not stop me. I will not quit. Because these enemies are real, but so is your strength. So is your persistence. So is your power. And if you fight through fear, if you silence doubt, if you rise from failure, you will discover a truth most people never learn. You were never meant to quit. You were meant to conquer. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire. Motivation can start the journey. Discipline is what keeps it alive when everything in you wants to quit. Too many people rely on motivation. They wait to feel inspired before they move. They wait to feel excited before they act. They wait to feel strong before they show up. But the truth is this: motivation comes and goes. Discipline is what remains. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Discipline means keeping your promises when no one is watching. Discipline means showing up on the dark days, on the painful days, on the days when progress feels invisible. And here's the truth: quitting doesn't always happen in one big dramatic moment. Quitting happens slowly, quietly, in the small choices, in the skipped workout, in the delayed task, in the I'll do it tomorrow, in the it doesn't matter if I skip today. That's how people quit without even realizing it. Not with one big decision, but with 1,000 small ones. That's why habits matter. Habits are the daily anchors that hold you steady when your emotions waver. Habits don't ask how you feel. Habits don't care if you're tired. Habits don't wait for the perfect mood. Habits move you automatically toward your dream. Think about it. The person who reads 10 pages a day will finish more books in a year than the one who reads 100 pages once in a while. The person who saves a little money consistently will build more wealth than the one who saves big only once. The person who trains daily, even in small ways, will grow stronger than the one who trains hard but rarely. Habits compound. Discipline multiplies. Discipline is painful in the moment, but it creates freedom later. Laziness feels good in the moment, but it creates regret later. Which one will you choose? Ask yourself, what habits am I building right now that keep me moving forward? And what habits are pulling me closer to quitting? Be honest, because your habits decide your future long before you realize it. Look at champions. They don't train when they feel like it. They train because it's who they are. They don't practice only when the crowd is cheering. They practice in silence, in sweat, in solitude. Their discipline carries them when their motivation fades. Fixing your dream means building habits that keep you alive when everything else is dying. Wake up early. Write daily. Train consistently. Guard your focus. Protect your energy. Keep promises to yourself. Because if you can trust yourself in the small things, you'll trust yourself in the big ones. Don't quit just because the fire of motivation has gone out. Build a furnace of discipline that never runs cold. Every day declare, I am disciplined. I am consistent. I will not quit because I don't feel like it. I will do what needs to be done no matter how I feel. Because the truth is simple. Motivation starts the journey. Discipline finishes it. Pain is not punishment. Struggle is not a curse. Pain and struggle are the training grounds of greatness. Most people see pain and think it means to stop. They feel a struggle and think it means turning back. But those who understand life, those who dream bigger, those who rise higher, they know pain and struggle are the very things that prepare them for what they've been asking for. The truth, you cannot become strong without resistance. You cannot become wise without mistakes. You cannot become resilient without storms. The weight that tries to crush you is the weight that builds you. Think about the gym. Growth doesn't happen without resistance. The muscles don't grow unless you push against weight. Pain signals growth. Strain signals progress. Without the burn, there is no build. Life is the same. The struggles you face are not designed to destroy you. They're designed to develop you. Every hard season in your life taught you something. Maybe it taught you patience. Maybe it taught you perseverance. Maybe it taught you who your real friends were. Maybe it taught you how strong you really are. Pain always teaches. Struggle always shapes. But quitting cancels the lesson. Quitting keeps you from the strength that pain was trying to give you. Quitting keeps you from the wisdom that struggle was trying to teach you. Quitting wastes the very thing that was meant to transform you. Look at history. Every leader who changed the world went through a struggle. Every innovator who shifted the culture went through pain. Every champion who lifted the trophy first lifted the weight of suffering. You cannot separate greatness from struggle. They are twins. One gives birth to the other. Ask yourself, what pain am I running from right now? What struggle am I trying to escape? And what strength might I gain if I faced it instead? Be honest, because the very thing you want to avoid may be the very thing that carries you to your next level. Pain will not kill you. Quitting will. Struggle will not bury you. Giving up will. Pain is temporary. Quitting is forever. The truth is this: your hardest seasons are not setbacks. They are setups. Setups for resilience. Setups for strength. Setups for growth. Setups for wisdom. The fire is not there to burn you. The fire is there to refine you. So when the pain comes, don't quit. When the struggle comes, don't quit. When life pushes harder than you thought you could handle, don't quit. Say it with me. I will not quit. I will endure. I will learn. I will grow. I will rise. Because the strongest people you admire were not shaped in comfort. They were shaped in storms. They were shaped in fire. They were shaped in seasons that looked impossible, but they kept going. And if you don't quit, you'll realize the same truth. The pain that tried to break you was the pain that built you. When everything around you says stop, when your body says quit, when your mind says give up, faith, hope, and vision are the only things that keep you moving forward. Faith is the anchor. Hope is the fire. Vision is the map. Without them, you'll drift. You'll burn out. You'll lose your way. With them, you can walk through storms that should have drowned you. With them, you can endure pain that should have broken you. With them, you can keep moving when everything in you screams to quit. Faith means believing when you can't see. Faith means trusting the process when progress is invisible. Faith means knowing that the seeds you planted are growing even when the soil looks empty. Without faith, you'll give up in the waiting. But with faith, you'll keep going until the harvest comes. Hope is different. Hope is the light in the dark. Hope is the fire that whispers better days are coming. Hope is what tells you the night won't last forever. The storm won't last forever. The pain won't last forever. Hope keeps you alive in the in-between. Without hope, despair wins. Without hope, you stop moving. But with hope, you rise every morning believing that today could be the day everything shifts. And vision. Vision is what keeps your eyes on the prize. Vision is what lets you look at your current struggle and see future strength. Vision is what lets you look at failure and still see victory ahead. Vision is what turns pain into purpose. Here's the truth. People don't quit because life is too hard. People quit because they lose faith. People quit because they lose hope. People quit because they lose sight of the vision. When faith fades, when hope dies, when vision disappears, quitting feels like the only option. But you must protect your faith. You must guard your hope. You must feed your vision. How? By reminding yourself daily of the dream. By surrounding yourself with voices that lift you instead of drain you. By reading, by praying, by meditating, by speaking life over yourself when everything else speaks death. Ask yourself, what am I putting my faith in right now? What am I hoping for right now? What vision am I chasing right now? Because the answers to those questions will decide whether you keep going or quit. Look at every world changer. They weren't just talented. They weren't just disciplined. They weren't just strong. They had faith when the world doubted. They had hope when the world mocked. They had vision when the world couldn't see. Faith, hope, and vision are not optional. They are surviving. They are the fuel in the tank when motivation runs out, when energy runs out, when support runs out. They are the inner resources that keep you alive when everything external says stop. So every day remind yourself, I have faith in the unseen. I have hope in the future. I have a vision for my life. I will not quit, because the truth is this: if you protect your faith, if you hold on to your hope, if you fight for your vision, nothing can stop you. Not fear, not pain, not failure, not critics, not struggle, nothing. Faith keeps you steady. Hope keeps you burning. Vision keeps you moving. And together they make sure you never quit. Most people don't lose because life is too hard. Most people don't lose because they lack talent. Most people lose because they quit too soon. They gave up in the waiting season. They gave up when the results took longer than expected. They gave up when progress felt invisible. They gave up not because they couldn't win, but because they couldn't wait. That's why patience and persistence are the two most powerful weapons against quitting. Patience is the strength to wait without breaking. Persistence is the strength to push without stopping. Together they guarantee that as long as you don't quit, you will outlast the struggle. Patience is misunderstood. People think patience means doing nothing, but patience is active. Patience is working while you wait. Patience is planting seeds when the field still looks barren. Patience is believing that growth is happening underground, even when you don't see it. Persistence is equally powerful. Persistence is showing up again and again. Persistence is running the extra mile when your legs burn. Persistence is making the call after 50 rejections. Persistence is standing tall after 100 failures. Persistence is ordinary consistency, repeated until it becomes extraordinary victory. Here's the truth. Success rarely comes fast. Big dreams take time. Growth takes time. Breakthroughs take time. And in that time, the temptation to quit will scream louder than ever. Your patience will be tested. Your persistence will be challenged, and if you're not prepared, you'll surrender right before the finish line. Think about the stone cutter. He strikes the rock 100 times with no crack. On the 101st strike, the rock splits. Was it that last strike that did it? No. It was all the strikes before. Persistence wins when nothing else seems to be happening. Ask yourself, where have I quit too soon before? Where did I walk away when I only needed a little more patience? Where did I give up when persistence was all I needed? Be honest. because those answers reveal where your future is waiting for you to return. Quitting is easy. Quitting is fast. Quitting gives instant relief, but quitting also guarantees regret. Patience is hard. Persistence is harder, but together they guarantee results. Fixing your future means declaring this: I will not quit in the waiting. I will not quit in the struggle. I will not quit when the process is slow. I will endure with patience. I will fight with persistence. I will last as long as it takes. The enemy wants you to think delay means denial. The enemy wants you to think slow progress means no progress. But the truth is this: delay is not denial. Waiting is not wasting. And as long as you persist, the dream is still alive. So every day declare, I will be patient. I will be persistent. I will outlast the struggle. I will not quit, because the ones who win are not the fastest. They're not the luckiest. They're not even always the most talented. The ones who win are the ones who refuse to stop. There comes a point in life when refusing to quit stops being just about you. It becomes about your legacy. It becomes about the people watching. It becomes about the generations that will rise because you didn't fall. Every time you refuse to quit, you're not just building your future, you're building faith for someone else. Every time you push through, you're not just writing your story, you're giving someone else a reason to keep fighting for theirs. Every time you keep going, you prove to the world that it can be done. Quitting kills more than your dream. Quitting kills inspiration. Quitting kills the example you were meant to set. Quitting kills the legacy you were meant to leave. But when you refuse to quit, your life becomes proof. Proof that strength is possible. Proof that resilience is real. Proof that victory can be achieved even in the face of impossible odds. Here's the truth: people are watching you. Some are hoping you'll fail. Some are waiting for you to give up. But others are drawing strength from you. They're learning from your fight. They're feeding off your persistence. They're being built by your refusal to quit. That's why quitting is bigger than you. And that's why persistence is powerful beyond measure. Refusing to quit turns ordinary people into legends. It turns scars into symbols. It turns pain into power. It turns your life into a message that will echo long after you're gone. Think about it. The world remembers not the people who quit, but the people who kept going. The names we honor are not the names of those who surrendered, but those who stood. The ones who got knocked down but rose again. The ones who faced impossible odds but kept pushing. The ones who carried their dream, their vision, their mission until the very end. That can be you. That should be you. That must be you. Refusing to quit transforms you into someone unstoppable. Not because life stops testing you, not because pain disappears, not because the struggle ends, but because you've built the kind of character, the kind of faith, the kind of persistence that no storm can shake. The world cannot defeat someone who refuses to quit. Failure cannot defeat someone who refuses to quit. Fear cannot defeat someone who refuses to quit. Even death itself cannot erase the legacy of someone who refused to quit. Ask yourself, what legacy do I want to leave? Do I want to be remembered as someone who gave up or as someone who kept going? Do I want to be remembered for quitting or for conquering? Make the choice now. Decide in your heart, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how long it takes, no matter how painful the process, I will not quit. Every day remind yourself, I am stronger than my fear. I am tougher than my pain. I am bigger than my struggle. I am unstoppable, because I will never quit. And when you live like that, your life will echo far beyond your years. Your persistence will inspire generations. Your story will become a torch in the darkness. Your refusal to quit will become the spark that ignites 1,000 other dreams. So hold on, fight through, keep moving, don't quit. Because when you don't quit, you don't just win, you become unstoppable. The world can break your body. Life can test your spirit. Failure can crush your pride, but nothing can defeat you if you refuse to quit.